Hello, and welcome to our writing project, comparing and contrasting different versions of Cinderella. In this lesson, you will be revising and editing in Lesson 8. Today, you will revise and edit a compare and contrast essay and engage in collaborative discussions. What do writers do when they revise? They add information, they take out information, and they reorganize what is there. What do they do when they edit? They polish writing, they check for grammar, and they check for spelling. They also looked at each sentence to make sure it is complete, not a fragment and not a run-on. So revision and editing are very different. Revision involves taking information, putting it in, taking it out, rearranging it. Editing is putting the finishing touches on your writing. Let's look at our writer's checklist. We're going to look at the revise section first. Did the writer clearly state the topic of the account? Focus each paragraph on the topic? Include examples, evidence, and/or explanations to develop each paragraph. Write an introduction that hooks the reader's attention. Write a strong thesis statement. Organize the essay in block or point-by-point format. Include similarities and differences in the thesis statement. Use compare and contrast words and phrases to link ideas. Restate the thesis statement in the conclusion. Use summaries, quotations, and paraphrases from the text. Think about the audience and purpose for writing. Write in a clear and engaging way that makes the audience want to read the work. Find a unique way to say things. Use words that are lively and specific to the content. Write complete sentences, avoiding fragments and run-ons. Expand some sentences using the steps of masterpiece sentences. Use compound sentence elements and compound sentences. Now I want you to go back and reread each of the items on the checklist under the revised section, beside the revised section, and then carefully read the draft to make sure that the criteria has been met. I want you to make notes and write questions in the margins of your draft. Remember to stay on the lookout for details that seem unrelated or out of place. Mark spots in the draft that seem to need a transition or link between ideas. Use your checklist to revise your work independently. Cross out ideas you want to omit and write new ideas in between the lines or in the margins. Use arrows to show where the new ideas should go. This is a good time to reorder your body paragraphs if you need to. If you are using point-by-point format, remember to place the strongest or most convincing body paragraph last. If you're using the block format, remember to place the paragraph about the best fairy tale last. New or different transitions will be needed if the paragraphs are rearranged. Read the last sentence of one paragraph and the first sentence of the next paragraph to make sure that they flow together logically. Use the writing skills that you have been taught, including masterpiece sentences and painters, to make your writing as clear and engaging as you can. Now that you've revised your writing, we're going to do some polishing up with the edit portion of the writer's checklist. So let's go back and look at that editor's portion of the writer's checklist. Did the writer capitalize words correctly? Capitalize appropriate words and titles. Capitalize proper nouns, including people's names. Did the writer punctuate correctly, using quotations, italics, or underlines for titles, using an apostrophe for possessive nouns and contractions, using commas and/or semicolons correctly, using punctuation for effect? Did the writer use grammar correctly, using pronouns that match antecedent in number and person, and making sure that pronoun usage is clear and not vague? Did the writer use correct spelling? You will need to use a dictionary to check the spelling of any words you are not certain of the spelling. You will need to take out a red pen, pretend that you are the teacher, and correct any spelling errors, capitalization mistakes, and punctuation for your partner's writing. Remember to pay close attention to sentences, making sure that each one expresses a complete thought and doesn't run on. When you are finished editing, I want you to go back and check over the checklist again. You will need to make any last-minute changes based on your partner's feedback. Then you will need to type your draft in the space provided on the Google Doc provided in this lesson.